What's up everybody, Charlie here with Hot Tips, here with another WordPress theme review for you. Today, we are going to be taking a look at Display. This is a theme by Tesla Themes. And to be honest with you, I'd never really used a Tesla Themes product before doing this review, so I also get the opportunity to demo and sort of review the Tesla framework as well, because they operate their themes on their own framework. So let's take a look at the front end of this, this theme, this demo site that's sort of set up for the theme. And we're also going to take a look at the backend functionality to see how these elements on the front end are sort of assembled and put together, because Tesla Themes, really, I think all of them, but Display particularly has a kind of a unique way of sort of presenting elements on the front end of the page. I think a lot of users, probably I dare I say most users, will probably appreciate how they've done it. I think a lot of people out there though may not like it. So it's a mixed bag, and we're gonna take a look at it right now. So as you can see, we have Revolution Slider built into Tesla Themes' Display. And this is a plugin that you normally have to pay 15 bucks, I think it is, in addition to the price of the theme in order to get. But with this theme in particular, it is included with it. And I think a lot of themes are starting to do that now. They're starting to incorporate a lot of the most popular plugins and sort of incorporate them into their own themes to help try to drive sales. So incorporating Revolution Slider into this theme is a very smart move, I think, for them. And also, given the fact that this theme costs significantly less money than most quote-unquote premium themes do, it actually ends up being a pretty damn good value. So let's take a look at some of the features that go with this theme beyond Revolution Slider, because that's a whole nother tutorial and a whole nother review in and of itself. And quite honestly, Revolution Slider is just an absolutely fantastic product. I use it for pretty much every site I've done, I think, in the last 2 months has been using Revolution Slider. So it's definitely good. This theme also comes included with parallax functionality. As you see, we have parallax elements in the backgrounds here, so full width parallax elements. This is a pretty standard thing for today's modern design practices. We also have multiple different types of column layouts, 4-column layout, 3-column layout here. We also have gallery functionality. Display, I think, is one of those themes that was designed for a specific purpose, and I think that purpose is for businesses to showcase their products and their services, but not necessarily sell them with e-commerce, and for artists to showcase their work, whether that be photographers or artists, etc. Just to showcase what they have to show you. And this little gallery function actually has a little bit of a unique feel to it. If it was another theme that had just been released, like a 1.0 type release, I'd say this might even be a bug. But since this theme has sort of evolved and has sort of received updates periodically, I'm going to go ahead and assume that this is the intended functionality. If I click this, whoops, getting a little fancy with my mouse here. If I click one of these little headers here, like business, for example, I get it filtered. I get only business type stuff filtered. And that's great. And I didn't load another page, and that's great. That happens with a lot of themes. I've seen that all over the place. But here's where it differs for me. Usually when I click another category, I get to see that category. But with this theme, if I click, say, nature, for example, I see that category in addition to the one I already selected. So it includes both of them. Again, if I select people here, I get another one. Again, 3 things are now displayed instead of 1. If I want to get rid of one, I have to click it off to get rid of it. I'm not entirely sure I like that. I think when I click one of the categories, I want to see that category. And I might get confused if I click on one and all of a sudden it's, I still have this one. Does that tell me, okay, so is this one, like for instance, let's click on this little woman's face right here. Is this one nature? Okay, good. Now, is it nature and fashion now? I don't know. Is it just this one's fashion, or is this nature and fashion? If I select all, then obviously I expect to see all of them. But selecting multiple categories, for me, I would think I would want to see only that category when I select it. But like I said, this is going to be one of those theme reviews where it's a to each his own type thing. There's multiple ways to do things, and it's not necessarily wrong or bad to have it used a specific way. So we're going to see a couple of instances of that as this review progresses. We have a hot offer here. You can see that there's a lot of different text formatting options here. We have big text, little text right here. We have bold. You could do periodic bolds also all through this. We also have an accordion style layout here, so we can have a title and then, you know, some emphasis in that title with the description, and like this and like that as well. And my browser is sort of acting up on me today. I probably have a lot of things open. That's probably why. So if some of these transitions or the window starts glitching a little bit and stuff, don't blame it on the theme necessarily. It's probably my browser. Now, if we scroll down here a little bit, you'll see that we have another parallax element. We have this little scroll here, so you can sort of like showcase the clients that you have worked with in the past. And this is really easy to set up, as we will look at in a moment. And as we scroll down here, we also see a very nice contact form. We have an address, which gets inserted in the back end, mail address, which is not found because I didn't set it up, and neither is the phone number, and contact form. Pretty simple, pretty basic. You'll also notice how they implemented the background image for this. Now, it's important to note that demo themes like this one often use really visually appealing elements to their site. So take a look at some of the elements that these demos have set up, because these designers design themes with a specific look in mind. You have to have a particular look that you're going for when you're designing a theme, and part of that look involves the background images as well. And so chances are the demo content is going to look great, but it may not look exactly the same when you go to implement it for your own site. At least that's the way it is for a lot of themes. With Tesla themes, at least with this theme here, with display, when I imported the demo content, it was super easy to do. This entire demo site took me less than 5 minutes to set up. And I'm talking like from a base WordPress install to seeing exactly what you see here right now. It took about 5 minutes to do. So you get a huge head start with great imports for demo content. It's fantastic. It's very simple. It doesn't make things super complicated like a couple of other themes. Blushhawk, for example, was a really complicated mess. I think perhaps that one has evolved now and it's a little easier probably now, but when I first did it and when I first did the review on it, it was kind of a complicated mess to actually get it up. But luckily those guys install it for you for free. They do free installation for you, so you don't have to worry about it. So let's take a look at some of the other unique or different pages that go along with this. You can see the About page is pretty simple here. We have a 2-column layout, this little banner here with 3-column, and I like how they did not use parallax here. I think that's pretty nice and clean. We also have a skill sheet here and a gallery that's sort of changing things in. So pretty good. Again, you have to have a purpose for these different elements, and a lot of the things you're going to notice as we get into the back end is they're sort of designed to go and look exactly like this. You can fiddle with things if you'd like, but it's easiest to set the theme up if you want it to look exactly like this, and I'll show you why in a second. Take a look at the feature set here, and it's rather unimpressive. You're going to notice that this theme is a pretty bare bones representation of what a premium theme could look like. We just have header text, we have columns, alert boxes, buttons, and tabs, and also pricing tables. And that's pretty much it as far as them displaying their features. Because, I mean, quite honestly, let's face it, if the theme that you're purchasing, if you have a premium theme that you're purchasing, and it doesn't have at least this functionality, then you're getting ripped off. I mean, every premium theme should have this basic functionality: tabs, buttons, alert boxes, different types of columns, headings, different types of text headings, and all this stuff. This is stuff that should just plain come included. And that's what it does come included with display, but that's really all that does come included as far as their feature representation as it goes. Obviously, Revolution Slider is another animal all in of itself, and parallaxing can be interpreted as a feature, but it's not really represented on the feature sheet. So there's a lot of stuff here that is a feature that isn't exactly included on the feature page. If we take a look at the services page, you'll see that we have, again, it's just a 2-column layout, icons, which is nice. We also have this little 4-column layout here, and we'll get into my pros and cons about this in just a second. But the one thing I do want to show you, well, there's actually 2 things. One thing I want to show you here is blog. This is the blog post. It's a standard blog post, a single post, and it looks very clean, and I like this a lot. It looks very clean. I like it. If I go to the actual blog, though, I do like, there's a do like and a don't like for this particular section for me. I do like that videos are playable directly on the page themselves. I like that. I don't like that I can't click the image to go to the article. I'm a guy that likes to click the images. I'm a guy that likes to click the visual components of pages and not have to click the text. And I can't do that with the blog roll here. The images don't go anywhere. They're just there. They're just stagnant. The image, to me, it's visually appealing, but it could also serve a function. The function is a click-through. Now, I understand that the text here is clickable, and you can go to the article with this, and I understand that there's also a read more button, but I'm always going to click the image first. That's my first impulse when I see a blog, is to click the image to go to the article. It's just the way it is. And the second part about this, going along the lines of things not being clickable, is the archives and category logs that or the archive and category links that are here in the sidebar act in the very same way. That you have to click the text, you can't click the element. The whole element is being highlighted like it's a button, but you can't click it. It's only just the text. I would have liked to have seen the whole thing that's highlighted act like a highlightable button. This highlights and it's a button. This highlights and it's not a button. I get that they don't look quite the same, but if I'm looking at a page that doesn't necessarily have, if I'm looking at a page that doesn't have one of these buttons on it and I see this instead, I'm not going to really, I'm going to click this first and go, whoops, and I have to click the link. It's just a usability thing for my own personal taste. That's all there is to it. The last thing I want to show you before we dive into the back end is the contact form. This is really cool, and it doesn't look like it's all that big of a deal, but when I get to the back end, you'll see why I think this is a great implementation of a map, and I wish other people who create maps for their plugins and maps for their themes would implement it in a very similar way, because it's super simple to add your location to this map, and you don't have to be precise. You don't have to be anything. You don't even have to know your address. You just have to kind of know where you are on a map and just plop the arrow where you go. It's really nice. So let's take a look at the back end. One thing I want to mention here is that I have mixed reviews on this, and I have mixed feelings on how they've implemented the back end. So I'm going to go over my inhibitions, and I'm going to go over what I don't like about it right away to get it out of the way, and then I'm going to talk about some of the benefits that go with it. If that makes sense, then cool, go with me. If not, I guess rewind the video and listen to that again so that it makes sense. I don't know. Let's go. So let's go ahead and look at the dashboard. So this is my brand new WordPress installation. There's nothing else installed on this WordPress installation aside from W3 Total Cache to help speed things up and my Nginx helper plugin to, again, help speed things up. Other than that, this WordPress installation is completely bare bones. I'll go to the plugins menu to prove it. So we have, again, very bare bones, W3 Total Cache and my Nginx helper, and that's it. The only thing else that's actually active is Revolution Slider, which is included with the plugin, so that's why it's active. Okay, so that being said, look at all the stuff that's down here. There is so many things on this menu. It is just, it's insane. I have more stuff added by, I have more stuff in my admin sidebar from Tesla themes than I do from WordPress itself. I mean, there's so much stuff here, and I don't like it. It's just for me, and I think most users probably will like it, and I'll tell you why in a second, but for me, this is a messy implementation of how to do things. I wish this stuff was all done entirely with shortcodes instead of these custom post types, and I also wish that these weren't placed in this huge, area in my main admin sidebar. I sort of wish maybe they were, because if you look at it, each of them has a submenu, which, I guess that's the way it has to be. They have a submenu. If I could have had them all under the display menu only, that would have been much, much cleaner. I would have liked that much, much more, because as I start adding more plugins to my site, maybe I have a membership plugin, maybe I have an affiliates plugin, then I'm going to add WooCommerce, then I'm going to, obviously I have my caching plugin here as well, maybe I have an SEO plugin installed, maybe then I also have, I could have any plugins installed, and I might have all these various functionalities that I need within my website, and each one of those single plugins are going to add one single part here, but my theme adds all of these. So I don't know. I don't like that part. But getting around that part and the way it looks, let's take a look at how it functions. That's important too. So we'll visit how those function in just a second. First, I want to go to the actual main display menu to take a look at the Tesla framework. So welcome to Tesla. This is basically where you could add your logo and your favicon, which for those of you who don't know, it's the little tiny logo that appears up by your URL bar, and it tends to also appear as an icon for mobile devices as well as in tabs on your browser. So we can choose our site colors here as well. Again, site background, very very simple interface here. You just upload stuff, put the settings the way you want, and there you go, save the changes. Social icons, again, display them on the front end of your site very easily. Just put the URL in the boxes. Twitter settings, integrated. You can put your Twitter apps integrated directly into your site as well if you want. We also have a custom CSS box for those of you who want to make stylistic changes to the site and also want them to be saved for later so that they don't get overridden by the theme when you update it. This is a great place to add custom CSS. We also have an append to footer part here, which will stick this text at the very bottom of your site below the copyright text. This is a great place for analytics information, but really not much else as far as, in my own experience, it's really not a good place to put anything else other than analytics, for me anyway. And then the header menu is right here, and you can choose whether or not you want it aligned to the left, center, or the default right. Pretty much it. Now, let's take a look at the contact info, because again, my contact page, like I said, was excellent, and I made a big deal out of this map. Let me show you why I made a big deal out of it. If I go to contact info, you'll see right away that we have an interface for map, and this is a live representation of the map. I can zoom in and out if I want and do whatever I want with it. But here's the cool part. I could enter a location here if I want, and that's fine. You can enter that. Map height, you can dictate how tall you want the map to be. So if I want this map to be slightly longer vertically, I can give it more space vertically if I want. But if I want to place something, let's say I want to place a pin in Lansing, because I'm located in Lansing. So let's say I go on in Lansing and I know that I'm in this area here. I don't really want to give my exact location necessarily. Maybe I do, and I can just find my location and pin it. But all I have to do to put a pin on the map is just to click this button here, drop marker here, done. And if that's not exactly where I wanted it, well, okay, let's just pick it up and move it. So I could just be like, I want it here, right on I-69, or East Saginaw Highway. Let's just do this on the corner of Saginaw and Abbott Road. Let's just do that. If you are located on the corner of Saginaw and Abbott Road, I apologize for pinpointing your location, but just don't tell anyone and you'll probably be fine. If I go ahead and save the changes, I'll notice that right away, right now my pin is in Detroit. Really, it's near my place in Detroit. And if I go ahead and just refresh this page, you'll notice that now the pin is located in East Lansing. Now here's another cool part about this. It also retains the zoom that you choose as well. So if I want to, say, put a pin, and just to show the changes, I'm going to pick a different location now. Let's choose, I don't know, let's just choose somewhere in New York. Let's say I want to go in New York. Let's drop this here, and I'll put it down to New York. Now I want to leave it zoomed out like this. I'm not going to zoom into New York. I'm going to leave it right here. I'll go ahead and hit the Save Changes, and I refresh this page. You'll notice that I'm zoomed out, and it's on New York. It retains the zoom out even. That's pretty cool. It's very quick, very easy to do. It doesn't take, it takes absolutely zero skill to set this map. Very nice, well done. Okay, so now that I got the map, I'm nerd jerking out for the map here. Let's take a look at phone number, email address, all this stuff is sort of easy to set. You can also add a new color, interesting. Oh, okay, you can add a new phone number. This should say phone number, not add new color. Add new color is confusing to me. Anyway, so there's that, and you can set your map, and it's all awesome. All right, so let's take a look at these custom post types, because that's what these are. They're custom post types, and the reason why I don't like custom post types is, well, even though they're sort of implemented and supported by WordPress, you can't really carry them with you. You can't really do anything. If you move to a different theme, you can't take them with you. So all the work you do with custom post types is not going to be taken with you if you decide to leave the Tesla framework and sort of decide to go to a different theme that's not part of the Tesla framework. There's risks to this, but there's also a lot of rewards to this if you're using Tesla themes. The reward is that it's really easy to set up all the stuff. Here's services, for example, and you can see that we have, these are the custom post types for services, basically. If I choose innovations here, you'll see that I have an icon to set, a description to set, and a link. And that's really easy. Let's take a look at services real quick. You can see what it is. So this right here, this one custom post right here is this box. It's got the logo, the heading, and the descriptive text. Now, if I want to add another one, let's say files is right here. Files has this icon, this descriptive text, and this URL here. If I go out here, you can easily see files right here. The advantage to this is that everything you add to this section gets automatically placed right here on this page in the order that you put it on here. So you can see that we go music, photo, innovations, files. This is order from oldest to newest. So the oldest one would appear first. So this music, photo, innovations, files is at the top. And you can see here music, photo, innovations, files. Now, same thing with skills. Let's go to skills real quick. You'll see jQuery, PHP, HTML, Photoshop. I just read those in reverse order. But if I go to scroll down, yeah, right here. So jQuery, PHP, HTML, Photoshop. And these custom post types are easy. I just click this and it's 80. Here you go. Piece of cake. Didn't have to take any time at all. It's really quick to easy to set this. And if I add more skills, then another skill would be added to the page. And the reason why it's added to the page like that is because of this. Now, right away, you're like, wait, what is this? What do you mean this? I don't see anything. And that's another one of my personal cons, but for those of you who have a purpose for this theme, and for those of you who want to implement this system, it is actually a big reward for you. There's nothing in this box because everything is actually formatted down here. You tell it how many columns you want. You tell it the text that you want in certain areas, how you want these individual settings to go, and then you set the template to services. And then if you set the template to services, everything that goes with the services template is then applied here. Now you can choose different layouts for the page if you want. And you can also fill the content of the page like this if you want as well. All of these functions, at least I think most of them, if not all of them, have shortcodes that go with them too, which you can see in the documentation. But if you install the demo content, which like I said takes 5 minutes to do, you will have everything sort of set in these custom areas. So if I look at another page, let's take a look at, well, let's just take a look at the home page. Why not? Because the home page is a really good explanation of this too. Notice the home page has no content in this editor here. There's nothing here. If I move to a different theme, I'll have a blank home page. It will not exist. Nothing will be there. And that's because it's all formatted down here. You can see different parallax elements are all here. It's sort of set up in a template that's already pre-made for you, and you can just basically swap out the stuff that you want to swap out with, and bam, you're done. In this way, you could take this entire home page that's here. Let's look at this home page one more time. You could take this entire home page, which has like this generic content on it, and you could transform this into something that's completely personalized for you with almost no effort, and you could probably do it in under an hour, because all it would take is to just swap out the stuff that they have for the stuff that you want, and that's it. That's all you need. It's very easy to do. That's the benefits of this Tesla framework. It's extremely fast, it's extremely easy, and for most people, this will be great. But for the people like me who want complete control over their content and are very familiar with WordPress and just use all sorts of stuff, and they want to have everything in this area here, a visual editor here, that is a negative for me. I don't like that, because if I ever move to another theme, I won't get to keep all of my work. My work will be completely gone. It's true you could edit things in here with shortcodes, but you don't get a visual representation of the elements, which for the price of this theme isn't a bad thing, because I wouldn't necessarily expect a ton of premium features like that, like a visual composer or something, for a theme that cost this low of a price. This is about half the price of what I normally see for premium themes to cost. So take that in mind when I say that it doesn't have built-in e-commerce functionality, so it doesn't really have integration with WooCommerce or anything like that. There's no BuddyPress or BBPress integration at all, so community purposes are completely out the window for a theme like this. Now, granted, you could install BBPress, you could install BuddyPress, you could install WooCommerce or MarketPress or whatever you want, but it doesn't have any theme-specific styling for those plugins. You're going to be left with generic bland styling that the plugin has instead of something that looks like it belongs in the theme. But like I said, for the low price, I think that this theme costs like $35. It ends up being an okay value because of that price. And on top of that, if you join Tesla and you can have all of the themes for even a lower price. It's really, really low. And on top of that, because Tesla asked me to do this review, and by the way, thank you for having me do this review if you're watching the video, they're offering they're even offering an additional discount to people who watch this video from Prior Media. So if you use the promo code Prior Media, PRYORMEDIA, at checkout, you save even more money, and it helps out the page, and it helps out the YouTube channel. So go check this theme out if you want. Link in the description down below, or the link in the upper left-hand corner of the video. You can check out this theme yourself. It's a really great value for those of you who are looking for a site that looks just like this, or a site that looks similar to this. It's a really great value for those of you who don't really care to deal with all the specifics of WordPress. You don't want to deal with all these different stylings and short codes and all these other things that most of us designers just have taken for, to be the standard norm. If you're looking for a theme that is easy to implement for your business or your creative needs, this is a great theme to choose. If you're looking for something that's really flexible and just gives you a ton of features that you maybe don't even need right now, but you might need later, this is not the theme for you. Because this theme has a specific purpose. It's made for a particular need, it's made for a particular niche, and it does that quite well, and does it very easily. So guys, that's really all I have to say about Display. I think it's a wonderful theme. It has some drawbacks in my own personal opinion, but I think for the majority of people, this theme will work quite nicely if you have a business that you want to display stuff on, or if you want to display your work as a creative professional. But that's all I have to say for today. I am Charlie from Hot Tips, and I will see you next time. Thanks.